breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page life is about to appear. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, and if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide.
With its 120 psi power,
Just click on Mike's page.
it can inflate
Drum
all your
Donkey
tires in a
Nation.
single charge.
Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells you, friend, Mike, he's your man. And he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, you probably heard a snore there as I hit the microphone. We got BOGO dogs on my lap today. On a Sunday, we had Sunday morning rains coming down here in Tampa Bay overnight. We took the dogs out the crack of dawn this morning, and everything was wet. And Julie said I slept right through it. I guess it rained about around one in the morning here. We had some rain rolling across the state of Florida here last night. Little Morgan Wallen words, right? It's a 2-dog day. All right, so let's do Hunter first because he's kind of the first one I can grab. I swear these dogs get jealous of each other. When I pick one up, the other one comes running over now. So, yeah, we got Tropics to talk about. Can't believe it. Can you? Got a little something brewing down there in the Caribbean. Not Patty. Possibly Raphael. With some impacts to come with it. So we're going to get into all that. So we usually don't go live on Sunday, but we do when there's Tropics. So I appreciate Shelly over there helping us out on the other side of the state. And we'll be live tomorrow morning for sure at 9:19 Eastern. Snowing out west, Harold says. Did you all see that snow in Minneapolis a couple days ago? What about the tornadoes last night? Oh my gosh. Oklahoma. Man, I guess that was kind of caught a lot of folks off guard. The damages this morning are terrible. So, Emily Jones, what's happening? We'll get a cone once it becomes something. It's still in the development stages right now, so we don't have an NHC cone yet. It's an invest. Merity's tired. Morning, Ashley from West Palm Beach. What's up, Chad Robbins? Morning, Robin. So yeah, we're going to see Invest 97. It can happen. It's November. Now that we have something, the comments are a little bit more reasonable, luckily. Not that we want to root for anything, but the hype comments are gone. So anyway, let's say hi for a few minutes. I love looking at these hometowns here. Gibsonton, that's right there by my old stomping grounds here. That's close to Ruskin. What's up, Jenny? Linda, I don't know if I got my extra hour today because I woke up at 4:45. I was like, darn it. I would like a vacation, Mary. I had to rush home from softball yesterday to get the website updated and the app because we had Invest 97. But we got time for coffee. Always time for coffee. What's up, Paul, over there on YouTube? What's cooking, buddy? Why, mama? What's up, Cole from Tampa Bay? Hot and cold days. Naz, we got a weird high pressure system that's just blocked over the eastern seaboard right now. That's fueling these storms overnight and keeping it hot on the east coast. We really don't have any cold fronts coming down, so that high pressure that y'all have up there in New England area is just sticking. And that's keeping that frontal line stalled out to the west of you and bringing those storms middle part of the U.S. and also steering Invest 97 zigzagging up through the Gulf here. Marie's got Halloween snacks. I just had a... what did I eat just now? Oh, a cookie. Well, I really needed a cookie. But they had chocolate chip cookies. Who can walk by a container full of chocolate chip cookies and not eat one? Mr. Ron Halliday, how's it going, buddy? Down from Michigan. Sherry Brown, Kentucky. Gulf breeze, watching Tropics. Chris, it's hot here at home. 89 degrees Friday and 88 yesterday. Bruno from Tallahassee. What's up? Mimosos for Rob. I don't know about that. Oh, hopefully this is the last one, right, Stuart? All right, let's put Hunter down. You're a little dog. I'm putting you down, buddy. You're a little dog. He's the second smallest Frenchie on the planet. Apparently, he could be the second smallest Frenchie. He's only 9 pounds, and he's 4 years old. But he's the cutest little guy. Look. Hey, buddy. All right, one more dog, and then we're going to go right into Tropics, I promise. Hope Sound. Oh, he's got some cute little snores, Lori. Yep. Oh, this is the big dog. He's also little, but he's big. So, there you go. Hey, real quick, I just want to start teasing what's cooking in our little world down here. So, mark the calendar, November 30th, okay, if you live in Florida. We're going to be doing a party at Tampa Bay Brewing Company. It's going to be called the Neighbors Helping Neighbors End of Season Benefit, okay? We're going to have music. We're going to have amazing gift baskets that you can raffle. All the money's going to go to probably the Florida Disaster Relief Fund that the state of Florida has set up. And we expect to raise several $1,000s. And it's free. It's going to be music, and we're going to have entertainment and stuff for kids. And we're going to have an after party with a fire pit. So pay attention to that. November 30th. Keep it open. We'd love to have you there and party down and win some cool stuff and support the Florida, because we've had 3 hurricanes here. So every year we'll, depending on where the storms are, this will be a yearly tradition. And and then we're going to do something special for those that want to donate. Furman is going to donate a generator for anybody that wants to donate online. Your name will be submitted in a raffle for a generator, so you don't have to come. So we'll probably have a $20 minimum online donation, and you get you get entered into a Furman generator that they'll mail you. So that'll be coming. A lot of information to come on that. Even Shelly's coming. So we will have those shirts. Adrienne, yes, and a portion of that money is obviously going to go to the support. We're going to also be supporting Oldsmar Cares. They don't know that yet, but anyway, let's talk Tropics. And get on with it. I know everybody's anxious. So. All right. So first off, yes, tropics can happen. This is not unusual. It is unusual to have a system possibly affecting land in November. There hasn't been a lot of storms in November, but there has been hurricanes in November. In this season, with the waters being so warm, And there's other favorable conditions. I can really see it. As you know, we've been talking a lot about it. So we'll get in on all that. First off, we have Patty. Everybody says you're handsome, Louie. Steve. Don. We have Patty. Patty was supposed to be the Caribbean. Patty tricked everybody. Patty now is heading off to Spain and Portugal area there. Could bring some rain. Unfortunately, they had a terrible flooding event a couple days ago. So that's Patty. Patty's actually affecting the Azores right now. We have folks in the Azores that watch us or watch the page. So if you're from the Azores, hello. We have this real quick. So we mentioned briefly, though, Oklahoma had some pretty bad tornadoes last night. The damage this morning is looking really bad. That all happened early this morning and overnight hours. We have storms again today, unfortunately. We have this stalled out high pressure system. Someone just asked, why is it so hot? Well, we just have this blocking pattern right here, and really everything's going around this high, and it's creating spring-style weather. And we saw it last night. We're going to see that today. And then, unfortunately, tomorrow we even have another high level 3 risk on Monday, into the Monday night. So 2 days still of severe storms to watch out for middle U.S., unfortunately. HRR, real quick, I want to show you this on Tropical Tidbits. This is your estimated radar. But yesterday we had a lot of tropical-like rain bands coming in off the East Coast, and this is what made it through Tampa Bay last night. We're going to see the same pattern in the next 48 hours. Again, high pressure is going to be bringing a lot of juice in across this high-pressure region. So you see these coastal rains coming into Carolinas and Georgia and Florida. They're all going to be happening in the next couple days as that high pressure lingers out there, the Bermuda High. So expect little random pop-up storms and rain showers, and they'll feel tropical. When it's 89 degrees out and we get rain, it feels tropical. Mother Nature doesn't know it's November 3rd. It was 89 degrees yesterday, and it's hot, and that makes storms. So that's the pattern that we're going to see, and there's that line of storms the next couple days. Rainfall, real quick, just going to preview what we're going to the tropics. This is rainfall for the next 7 days. You can see high flooding chances across the middle part of the Mississippi there, west of Mississippi. Oklahoma and Arkansas, Missouri there a little bit. And then you can start to see the rain coming into Florida. This is through Sunday. So we're starting to see whatever's going to happen down here, whether it skirts Florida, hits the Panhandle, hits the upper Gulf Coast, but there is rain, and it's going to be changing this map, but you can already start to see the color increasing. So we're going to see heavy rain, tropical rains, probably beginning as early as Tuesday down in the Keys, and Wednesday for the middle part of Florida, and then depending on where this tropical thing goes, Thursday, maybe even Friday, but it's going to be gone by the weekend. Okay, whatever tropical Raphael happens, it will be gone by next weekend, and maybe that's it. Hopefully, right. So here's that. Gigi's in Texas, and you got muggy weather. Yes, you're right. You're on the wrong side of that frontal line. Regina from New York City. Emily wants to go to New York City. I think it would be fun to take her up there. She really wants to go. One day we'll go up there. I'm just afraid of traffic. Hey, Dale Kindberg. What's up, buddy? You're welcome, Miss Julie. All right, so here's a cool map from Tomer Berg. I wanted to share this one. It's pretty fascinating to me. So I get a little riled up when I hear the talking points about, yeah, but the water's cold. You know, it is cooler than it is in the summertime, but it's still hot enough to support a hurricane, okay? Patty's way up here. Patty's in the green and the blue. And it subtropical Patty. It was kind of big, large, tropical, subtropical. But our water temperatures down here obviously are still hot. Still in the 84, 85 degree, 83 degree range. We have 80s all the way up into the Gulf. Shelf waters are cool, yes, but I'm going to theorize some of that for you. I guess I should turn off my ringer here because it's vibrating and making all kinds of weird noises and makes everybody probably like, what the heck is that? So let me, I just paid my lawn guy. You get old when you start paying a lawn guy. It's the best $20 I spent a week. Martin, I don't know. The next rad, I don't know. I have to look at that. All right, a couple people asked about be concerned. Well, at this point, nobody should be concerned about anything. Okay, we're watching a developing system. We just need to be aware. I'm going to show you all the models here in a second. Some of them are pretty darn, strong. 970 range pressures could be Cat 2. That's not making it up. Some are, showing it weaken as it gets into the Gulf. So I'm going to show you all that. Jamaica definitely watching for effects as early as Monday night and definitely Tuesday. Okay, it could be developing for Jamaica folks by then. Okay, it could be named before Jamaica, and then it turns towards the Caymans a little bit later Tuesday into Wednesday. So there you go. The other map I wanted to show you is the anomaly map here. Anomaly maps are based on a 30-year average from 1991 to 2020 temperatures. White is where it has been normal those 30 years. And the oranges are where it's above normal. And you can see why Patty did what it did. Because it's above normal temperatures in the upper Atlantic. It's orange. And we have orange here. We have quite a bit of orange in the Gulf. We have some blue left over from Milton, yes. But we have orange. So it can happen. Tropics. Coastal shelf waters are cool, yes, but it won't matter by then. Whatever it becomes, it'll still bring impacts. It doesn't just go from, this to that, a snap of a finger. Tropics take time to weaken, so there's plenty of fuel here on both sides of Cuba to worry about. This is what it looks like. So it's a sloppy mess right now, but it's bubbling away. Trying to get its act together. There's been a lot of persistent convection down there. Hurricane hunters are going to start flying out there soon. I'm not sure when their first flight is, but I think I read maybe today. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, they'll be out there. You know it. But that's what it looks like. I got all these linked now on the website and the app. If you have the app, thank you. It's let me make sure. I always talk about the app, and I want to make sure it's up. Yep, there it is. Invest 97 and Patty. So you click on Invest 97, and then there's all your links. So you can click on IR Satellite, and then it'll pop right up. So it works. I just want to make sure. A couple of weeks ago, I didn't check something, and it was wrong the whole time. Bigger radar look here on weathernerds.org. You can see kind of in relation to Cuba and the Yucatan and Florida where this is all at. And what's interesting is this. Remember, we've had this low pressure area here that this thing is going to come into play. This is coming up there, and they're both going to wrap together. And that's been a weird scenario that we've been watching now for over a week. But so this whole juice mess here is going to actually kind of merge with this in the next coming days. Crazy, really. But that's just going to add to the possible rains. It's going to keep things moist. I think it's going to keep it on that eastern Gulf side because it's going to weaken the high a little bit since we're going to have so much lowering pressures building here on the other side of that high. But that's what it looks like. You can see here on the wind map here on Null School, you can see a really tight circulation at 700 millibars showing up just south of Jamaica. 1,000 millibar, it's a little more elongated here. You got a couple little spots that look like they're trying to get going. So it's tricky right now in the early stages where it actually develops, but most of the time it ends up 700 is a good number. There's your 850 millibar tightening up very well right here. We can exit right there. And then, actually I can exit on their site. Here's 850. Well, I can't. Now I can. There's 850. And then there's 700. So it's actually stacking pretty good. 500 is starting to get a little bit too. So it's kind of happening quick as far as trying to organize. Wind shear, I haven't even really looked down there yet. Wind shear is not the best. It's still a little windy down there. So that might slow development in the short term. And it is weakening out ahead of it. You can see this big patch of lowering wind shear. So it'll have pretty favorable conditions to develop here in the next day. So it looks like it's really trying hard to get going quick. Again, some of the rainfall maps are coming into play. This is another rain map just kind of showing you increased chances. Wherever this ends up is going to all depend on track, but you can get the idea. This is rainfall through next Thursday. So somebody somewhere, we're going to start seeing rainfall in the Florida Peninsula no matter what. Even a track that skirts, we're going to have rain into the state. So we will have impacts in rain and storms and coastal possibly areas to watch. And depending on where this thing goes, everybody up here should still be watching. I'm going to show you why here in a second. Keys especially. I'm wondering if I might make my first trip to the Keys. All right, so I posted these this morning. These are your ensembles. Margaritas. They were good. When you see me, we went to Senior Tequila. I love that place. Oh my God. They had the best margaritas ever. Oh my God. They were awesome. I love it. They have the spicy. Oh my God. It is so good. I love jalapenos. Jalapenos. So these are your ensemble plots. These are, remember, there's 31 members of the GFS and there's 51 members of the Euro, but they pretty much give you an idea of what they're looking at. And the Euro has trended west all season long. It's been terrible this season. Very bad model this year. Now the Euro AI is a little more believable. I'll show you that. But I just wanted to show you the general consensus between 82 models. We're going to see the zigzag to the northwest. So that's pretty much the whole point of this. But GFS is pretty darn close here to the Keys first and foremost, and then we're going to see how close it skirts and where it goes. What it does. Does it fizzle? I don't know. We'll show you. But there's the latest. Just to build the confidence that that zigzag to the northwest is definitely going to happen. I think the big question marks is going to be how strong it gets here, and how close the skirt to Florida is here, and then where does it go up here? That's, to me, the three things that we're trying to figure out. Latest spaghetti models just came out on Tropical Tidbits. These are your 12Z. Big spread here on where that crossover from Cuba happens. We can see a little zigzag happening up here. We see some going northeast. But all in all, pretty tight track. We're going to have a lot of wind shear up ahead, which is going to push a lot of rain and storms on the east side as normal sheared systems do. But down here won't have that shear. It'll have still some hot water, believe it or not. So some of the models are showing it strengthen here. And then weaken up here. So all right, so that's the latest spaghetti models. They're still tightly clustered the first 24 hours. See the 24? This is 24 hours. This is 48 hours. This is 72 hours. So these run, let's say, at 8 a.m. Eastern. You can just figure out. So this is Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. So that's how you kind of read the timestamps on the majority of these 96, 96, 96, 96, 96. Intensity models on Tropical Tidbits came down a little bit, which is good news, but I want to show you some other stuff. These intensity models are tricky to read sometimes. So point of it is, likely to have Raphael. How strong it's going to get, we'll have to see. But could see a hurricane. Some of the latest tracks from your GFS 6Z. I showed you the earlier ones were 00Z. These are 6Z. These are all on Tropical Tidbits if you want to check them out. And again, some of these are to the east, some of them to the west. Notice the stronger ones are to the west, meaning less land interaction. And over that warm loop current of the Gulf of Mexico. Still 82 degrees. I know everybody's into temperatures, but here's the latest temperatures on Klystron 9, Bay News 9. 82, 83, 81. I know it's cold along the coast. But any system in the Gulf, it's going to have feeder bands that are wide, and those feeder bands are going to be fueling off of this warm water. So That's a talking point that I think needs to be toned down a little bit, because it makes it seem like it's not going to be anything. And yeah, it's cold on the coast, but it's still 80s, not far off the coast. And the other biggest thing, more than anything, is the ocean heat content. Ocean heat content is the fuel, and that's what I shared earlier. It's above normal right now in the Caribbean. It's about average in the Gulf, which is good news. But any system that develops in this red, and if it's moving, it will weaken. But how fast does it weaken? That's the tricky part. Especially South Florida. If it's close to the Keys in South Florida and it exits Cuba at a 980, 970 millibar system, it might weaken, but it's still going to bring effects, because it's not going to go from 980 to 1,000 in a split second. This Brian McNulty site here we use a lot kind of shows you the ocean heat content, which is the surface. And the Gulf one's been really acting up. I need to ask him if he knows why. Even the Gulf anomaly map here, even though it's cool in spots, overall Gulf, this blue line is your 10-year average from 2013 to 2022. And where we're at now is just showing you that we're almost, we're higher than our 10-year average. So all in all, the ocean heat content is a little warmer than normal. And when you go look at the Caribbean, it's crazy warmer than normal. It's the hottest. So the water temperature, 10-year average water temperature is normally here on the ocean heat content, which is, into September, which makes sense. But look, the temperature now is the highest even in September. So the ocean heat content in the Caribbean is hotter than what it is in August and September. That's why we have to remember Beryl, absolutely, intensified overnight in July or June or whenever it was, into a Cat 5 in the Caribbean, and the waters weren't even warm yet. So, And one more thing I'm going to show you, then we'll get into the models. This is the latest Canadian ensemble map, basically showing you a little confusion up here. We got a high pressure, so we got a high steering this thing now, and it's going to bend, but then we get this kind of high building in, and it might push it a little this way, but then we have a front coming down, and it might kick it back. So it's always this timing thing. All right, but one more graphic that really, I've been using it for years, but it really came into play with Beryl, because Beryl turned into a Cat 5 when no other storm ever did. This shows you the potential, given the current state of the atmosphere and water temperatures, what the maximum storm could be if everything else was perfect. If everything else was like no wind shear, the atmosphere could support, anything in blue, it could support a major hurricane, basically. Anything purple, major hurricane. Now notice along the coastal line, yeah, it could weaken, but the atmosphere could still handle a strong hurricane. And there's a lot of people out there that post it can't, and I just don't want to argue with people, but it can. And it might. This is the lowest pressure possible. We got red, which is 920, 930. Obviously it's weak along the coastal shelf waters. Heck yeah. But a storm approaching the coastline, it's not going to, how much does it really weaken on final approach? It'll weaken some, but, so just, yeah, that's all I'm about to say about that. Anyway. And then lastly, I posted this earlier. This is the high pressure. This is the GFS showing 991 coming across, and then, where does it go? Because we're going to have possibly high pressure keeping it a little bit more northwest before it eventually turns up. And I think I did the water temperature one, but we just talked about that, so I'm not going to get into that. All right, so let's look at all the models here. All right, so everybody that knows me knows that I think that the hurricane-specific models are very good, okay? Now, some people got mad at me the other day because I said it'll be interesting to see what our system does. And anyway, it is interesting to me because they seem to do very well compared to operational models. So Akeem Davis, what's up? Yeah, Billy, it could hit 200, man. Who knows? Yeah, you don't like the foot photos? Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you gotta have a little fun. If I wasn't me, then I'd be like everybody else. Yeah, I'm not putting any Christmas decorations up. I still gotta take my dang 12-foot skeleton down. Yeah, we have Invest 97. Yep, it's all over the web page. And I live in Oldsmar, Andy. All right, so let me show you all these. So these hurricane-specific models do very well with intensity. And when you have 3 out of 4, there's HMON, H-Half-A, B, and H-Warf. When 3 out of the 4 are showing something, then you got to, it's reality. And with the water temps, the MJO, I'm not going to talk about the MJO, we always talk about it, but all the environmental conditions are saying, yeah, man, we could see something really get going in the Caribbean. But here's the latest H-Warf. I know it's hard to read, but pressure is 994. This would be tomorrow morning. You know, it looks like it's already developing a center, so this could happen. Here's Jamaica tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, it could be, you know, bringing a lot of rain. It could bring some wind. That's 995 pressure, crossing 991 throughout the day on Monday. Then a little, you know, deepening by Cuba, 990, 89, 88, 85, 88, 86, 87. Remember, this part of Cuba's flat. This part of Cuba's flat and it's narrow, so it doesn't really ever weaken the system a lot. Here's your keys, okay? So, you know, when I say impacts, I'm not talking about a Cat, 5 hurricane, but we're already starting to see outer rain bands Tuesday night into Wednesday morning here. And so we can start to see some of these nasty rain bands, and they can have tornadoes, 100%. This would be Wednesday before daylight. These rain bands could be getting really close to South Florida and the Keys. At 989 pressure, 990. And this is what's interesting. This is actually, I think it intensifies. So even, we're going over these warm loop currents and loop eddies. 986, 87. There's some rain bands coming across. This would be Wednesday. This would bring, God, I don't even want to say school closures again. We can't have any more days off, man. These poor kids. But this would be Wednesday if we get any tropical storm conditions along the coastline. And we know closer it is, then we have coastal issues with possible surge again. Nothing like we saw with Helene, but we saw 3 to 2 feet of surge with Ada could be trouble, right? So this is things to keep, an idea about. Now the H-Warf went a little bit less intensity than it did on the 00Z run. It had it at 975, but it still had the same effects here. Wednesday. So the latest H-Warf is 987, 985. So it still deepens it, 982. So, 980. So, it's still 980, 80s all the way up. And this is not even thinkable to have a storm in the Big Bend area. But the main point of this is these models aren't showing a drastic weakening that you might hear about. And that makes sense to me because the Gulf is not really that cold, especially below surface. It could maintain it. That was, but how much does it really weaken it? But anyway, there you go. So rain bands throughout the day all the way to Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and then that's what the latest H-Warf shows. And that would go up, kind of stalls it out a little bit. See, it starts to do that high pressure stopping. All right, so let's look at some other models here. Let's look at it a different way here. Let's look at it on pressure maps, I guess. 10 millimeter winds. All right, so let's go to your latest HMON. HMON showing a 996 leaving Jamaica, 987, and then it goes 9. So there's the Keys. We can see strong winds for the Keys here. Wednesday, obviously, shaping up. Keeps it, maintains it, 977, 988. There's Tampa Bay, a little bit farther to the west. Less impacts. 985, 85, 84, 82, 82. It doesn't really weaken it that much. And there's the top of Florida. That's the HMON. Let's go to the latest halves A. 994 by Cuba. It splits the gap. It's a little more west. 981. It really going to feed off of that. Yeah, see, it's using that Gulf Stream now. 968, 960, 952, 948. Holy cow. It only runs out 126 hours. So, and there's New Orleans area. So there's that one. That's pretty darn strong. And then halves B is 991. So it's a little weaker. This hopefully might make the most sense. So there you go. So the a bazillion people are probably watching in Florida. Nothing's changed. The Keys are watching close. Effects inland for the peninsula depending on how close the skirt. And then of course the Panhandle. That's the other part of Florida that this thing could actually head up that way in the Big Bend area. So the whole point of the hurricane models is we're not seeing a massive weakening. We are seeing some weakening, but not massive. It all depends what it does down here for what it does up there, because it is going to weaken some. But I hate that word weakening. I hate that word. I don't like that word weakening at all. All right. Let's look at the Euro AI. So the Euro AI has actually took a long time to grab a hold of this thing. It's finally joined the others. It keeps it weak. Let's, not just promote the hurricane models, but the hurricane models are usually right a lot. But let's see what all of them are showing. This is showing 1,001 crossing Cuba, gets close to the Keys, 1,000 millibars. This is Wednesday. It kind of maintains it, 1,000, 1,002. Then it kind of, weakens it. Makes sense right there. Totally makes sense. Tampa Bay northward. Cooler waters, a little more wind shear, a little more weakening. And it takes it up into the Big Bend area, northern Florida. So that track seems, and I know we got something else popping in the picture, but we're going to talk one storm at a time. The latest 18Z Euro AI, kind of the same thing. See that? A little more stronger system, 997 off the middle part of the state. And, that has all along been the most realistic track with a weakness around that high pressure area. Latest GFS, I guess we can show it. 974 by Cuba. 980, really close to the Keys. And it kind of brings it a little bit more towards upper Gulf before it fizzles. So, the fizzling definitely, the northern Gulf definitely has to weaken it some. It's just the big question is here south, it's going to be 2 stories. What it does down there. All right, so there's GFS. Pretty strong little system there off of Tampa. There's 995. And it kind of stalls it right there. Now, here's this other one coming into play. A lot of them are going to Bahamas and, curving. But like I said, one storm at a time. Mother Nature doesn't know that it's November. Latest Canadian. Weaker system. Never really gets the intensity right, but track's pretty good. This one's a little closer to Florida. Keys for sure. It skirts Florida and does that hook. So you kind of on the same lines as, and then here's your icon. Kind of fizzles it out, but icon hasn't been necessarily the best model in the recent runs. But there you go, same track. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. The KMA, I guess we can look at that. I always like to look at the KMA. It showing a system crossing Cuba. And, got some big winds. Not a direct hit. And it builds it strong. And then it kind of does what it does. The track's never really good on it. But the KMA is good on the idea of what's coming. So, we just have to realize that this is probably going to become something to watch and pay attention to, and The UK, I don't think is showing much. Big old sloppy low. So usually a good model. I'll admit the UK not showing much. A little more stronger than yesterday's run. But we watch the ensembles really close. I got these linked here, Weather Nerds. They're very important to look at. It keeps all the scenarios on the plate. You get an idea. The black line is the average of them. And that's that. So, no canceling plans yet. Obviously, Jamaica and the Caymans are watching very close. I would be really watching close. Mainly in the Keys because, airports, tropical storm warnings could close airports. You got a boat you got to worry about. Definitely Tuesday night would be your... And it should all be gone by about a weekend. So that's the good news out of all this stuff. We'll have new spaghetti models on Tropical Tidbits around 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, the NHC's got it at 90% chance of development. And once they develop it, then we'll get watches and warnings. If they think that it might affect... I don't know if they'll issue watches and warnings for Jamaica and Caymans. I think they do. But they do. So we might get a PTC soon. We might get a PTC at 11 or 5. PTC means it's not quite there yet, but that would give us our first cone. So that's it. A lot of other models are showing things. Yes, I know, but water temperatures, man. November 13th through the 19th, still showing this area as a possible area to watch for something. Meaning the conditions are still favorable. We got the MJO phase and all that stuff. So, but it's 10 o'clock. So, yeah, that's it for me. Nothing to worry about yet. Just realize that, the water temps are warm, so it can happen. It's happened before. Likely weaken as it gets closer to the panhandle. If wind shear is very, with that high pressure, even if there's a high pressure to the north, most of the modeling is suggesting quite a bit of wind shear to the north. So let me show you here. Oh, there we go. So here is, let's just say Thursday. So we start to see, our possible system somewhere down, here, but 34 knots of shear begin in yellow. And farther north you go, you get more wind shear. So, but what that also does is it pushes all of whatever towards the east coast more. So we get a sheared system. Then a lot of this juice gets pushed, and you can start to see the signs of this on the GFS. This is Thursday. So this big old clump of rain here is being pushed off of our main system. So, luckily the totals haven't been showing up too large yet. Here's another classic look of a sheared system. This is the Canadian, showing most of the action east of center. That's because strong winds push cloud tops that direction. So again, impacts don't have to be Cat 5 winds. We could have flooding, we have tornadoes, coastal surge. The good news is we're not in a full moon or new moon. We looked at this last week together. Currently we are, but once we're heading towards first quarter moon in a few days, so we won't be in the worst case scenario with that. So that's good. Rainfall totals. Let's look at the totals so far. And again, this is so early stages. That's why the blended map, I think, is the good one to show that I showed earlier because it kind of just adds everything up. But, you know, depending on the track, obviously, you know, here's your Euro. It thinks the heaviest rains will be but it has a west track too, so the Euro's just not doing a good job. The GFS kind of showing you that. So we're not seeing massive rain yet. It's still 2 inches, but just cautious with these rain totals. Yeah, there's a lot of moisture down there. I don't think those are going to be correct. I think we're going to see a lot more than that. There's a lot of precipitable water coming across here. You can see this very well here. This is all moisture right there. So this is that blob coming across right now. The reds is heavy, heavy rain. And you can see it all coming together. And it'll all end up being meeting in the middle there. And help add the rain total. So maybe it won't be that bad. I don't know. But I still think we're going to see quite a bit of rain. There's a lot of moisture out there in the air. So yeah, windy is the Euro. So if you're looking at the Windy app, it's not showing much because it's the Euro. The Windy app is not a model; it's just a model reader, and the Windy app defaults to the Euro. So if the Euro's not showing anything, the Windy app's not showing anything. It's confusing. But there you go. Nobody should be worried, Kyle. No, nobody should be worried yet. Aware. And hey, if you got plans midweek, it's going to rain. Tuesday, Wednesday. Tuesday is going to start raining later down for South Florida and the Keys as these feeder bands start coming up. And then Wednesday, and then Thursday, farther up north you go. So Wednesday and Thursday are the big rain days for Florida. And then, like I said, by weekend it should be gone. If it goes to the upper Gulf Coast, then it would be maybe later, like Friday-ish, Thursday, Friday. But most of them are showing some weakening. But again, I'm glued to these hurricane models because they're so right more than they're wrong. And they don't go out that far, but, you know, that would just be the worst thing ever for 982. That's still probably still a hurricane, possibly, you know. You know, that's just one model, but, you know, and this would be close enough that we could, you know, probably have some waves and winds to worry about, you know, surge-wise, if it's that close. But that would be, you know, Thursday right here. That's the H-Wharf. It's the farthest east of all the hurricane models. HAFS A is more middle Gulf and getting close to, you know, this would be bad. I don't, you know, it stops on Friday, but it's still showing 950 millibar systems. So this could be later week, you know, trouble if it kept going north, but it stops, so we don't know how far it's going to go north. HAFS B, a little weaker, which is hopefully more realistic. And that it's got the weaker goes west mentality, kind of like the Euro. So, makes sense. We got the northwest zigzag. We got timing, you know, Monday, Tuesday, starting, you know, just like that. Maybe I messed up a little bit. It's probably more like this. Probably like, it's like Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Thursday, Friday. I took English. Don't ever get us started on the greater and or equal to or the alligator. I don't think we have any cold front. Brent, usually the hurricane models are not bad on tracks. Believe it or not, they've gotten a lot better on tracks. The H-Wharf has been pretty good, but you kind of take the blend of them all. So I think the H-Wharf's a little too far east right now. I like these models. These are Brian Tang website. I have it linked on my site. these keep up with trends, and trends sometimes point to the future, right? So the first run of the Euro yesterday, the 00Z yesterday, had the tip of the panhandle. The latest run shifted east quite a bit. So that was the latest European. I think that's a Euro run. Let me make sure. Yep, that was the latest Euro on AL 97. So let's look at the latest GFS trends. Interesting, right? So the first one yesterday, second one, and the most recent. UK, little tick to the east. So the lighter one is the run before, the darkest one is the most recent. Latest HMON shifted big time, kind of where the other ones are, actually, if you think about it. It shifted west because it had been going into Tampa Bay area. So the latest HMON shifted west, the dark blue line. Latest halves A shifted a little east. Latest halves B shifted a little east. Latest, I don't even know what the COTC is. It's nothing because it didn't come up. CTCX, not sure, but it trended a tick to the east. Ships is an intensity model. It came down a little bit, but here consensus models have pretty much stayed on point here. So this is kind of a look to the future, honestly. If we were to get an NHC cone, probably would show that as the center of the cone. We don't have an official forecast yet. But we would likely get a cone, as they normally do, like that, if we were to get one. No, that ain't right. What are they doing here? Most of them are coming across here, so I don't know what's going on with these models. That's a consensus model, though, but wait a minute. These aren't even correct. I'm glad I didn't publish these things. Erase that last 5 minutes. They haven't. AL 97 must have been. I just realized this isn't right because our system's here, but these are not right. These haven't been updated. These must be Helene models. These are almost the same exact tract as Helene. That's crazy. But we don't have official because I don't know why they didn't do that. Yeah, so you heard myself say this doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's weird. So they haven't run yet. So AL 97 is still showing 9/23, the date. I was like, because the Euro's doing this. I don't even know. I'm like, okay. All right. So good thing I didn't put that online. I can say that live because I can correct myself. Yeah, it made no sense because everything's crossing Cuba. But isn't that weird? They kind of look the same. That is kind of weird. No, we just hit delete the last 5 minutes. Erase. It did look like Helene. There you go, Kristen. Because it was Helene. We don't want that. Yeah, my puppy's snoring. Intensity for Jamaica, Ian. Listen, some of the models are around 991-ish. So, yeah, we could have a developing system for Jamaica. Yes, 100%. There's, chance of a named system for Jamaica, yes. Obviously, it wouldn't have a lot of time between now and tomorrow night. But, yes. Helene was 97. All right. Well, we usually go to 10, so we do a little extra. We'll be live tomorrow morning, 9:19 Eastern, all right? So we'll be keeping up throughout the day today. We'll see if they're going to issue a PTC. Yeah, I mean, they might issue a PTC. They might. Hurricane hunters are out there, Robin. Thank you for that. Let me take a look. That'd be good information, right? Hopefully. Looks like they are en route. Correct. There they are. Hurricane hunters. So remember, it takes, it looks like we have circulation. If we get storms around circulation, then we could see something pop. This is Patty, by the way. It's not 97. Here's 97. It does look like there's a surface trying to develop, but depending on if there's any around the center or not, but they'll at least have good data to put into the models, which helps a lot. So thank you, Miss Kristen. So anyway, I think it'll have a big wind field, Corey. It's going to be combined with that other low pressure area. And if we just look at the wind field of, let's say, the H wharf, it's the farthest east, but just to get a look here at how far we could see tropical storm force winds, we would start to see them possibly, for the Keys. These are knots. And that's close enough that we would see effects on the East Coast coming in off the Atlantic. We already got a high pressure over there, so anytime we have a high pressure gradient already in place, we'll have increased winds coming in around that high towards our system as it wraps up. So we can get a better look on the 850. 850 winds sometimes reach the surface. So this kind of gives you an idea of the eastern skewed system with some incoming winds to the north. You can see that. And then obviously coming around through the state. So yeah, it could have a pretty decent wind field through the state. This would be on Thursday morning, but obviously it would start on Wednesday. So yeah, this would be Wednesday morning. Farther off to the Gulf side, the H-Mon, I think, is the farthest west. We would not have as much wind into Florida. Well, maybe we would. Keys for sure. Well, what the hell's going on here? Oh, the Haas. Anyway, the H-Mon, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, there's Invest 97. Make sure it's the right one. November 3rd. So, yeah, we definitely would have some winds into the state, even with the skirt, Which one was farther west? Was it Haas? Maybe it was Haas, but I don't know. These things all blend together after a while. Yeah, so all right, there you go. So there's your Haas, clearing the Yucatan Gap a little bit. Man, I was so confused looking at those models, man. It was not like that. And I'm like, what? Like, there's no models that far west. I'm like, it's all about the data. No worries for Panama yet, Susan. No. It's going to be windy, Felice. Yes, it's windy now. It's going to be very windy in South Florida the next several days. Extremely windy as this thing takes shape. Because remember, when our system's here, those winds are going to be coming in and wrapping around our low. And then when it's here, it's going to be, coming in maybe on the backside. So you're going to have it, you're going to get it both ways. Anyway, all right, well, that's it for now. No word on the meet and greets. Nope, we couldn't do it. Oh, Mitch, we met yesterday? Where'd we meet at? I don't forget where we met, man. Where'd I meet you? Who did I meet yesterday? Where was I at? TBBC? Softball? Orlando should have some winds and rains. Yep. That would be Wednesday. Maybe some on Thursday. Gone by the weekend. Jason in Daytona Beach. Going to be surfs up, dude. What's up, Bill Lauderdale? How's it going, buddy? You camping, right? You be fire pit camping, Bill Lauderdale. Don't you like doing that? Hey, one of the brew crewers mailed me this little guy, Shelly. Who mailed me this little power bank in the brew crew? I love it. It's a little bit smaller. I wonder what the milliamps are. It's a solar charger too, which is great. See the solar? Milliamps are key. More milliamps, the more you can charge. Oh, I can almost read it. Oh, God, it's so small. Jeez. Man, you know you're old when you can't read nothing no more. I think it says... I'll take a picture of it. This is a little trick. Oh, Shelly texted me. Oh, gotcha. Oh, that was for Ian. We got you, Ian. Ian's a longtime supporter of our page, and he lives down in Jamaica. All right, so we can zoom in here. 38,800. This is badass. Most of your cell phones are around 6,000 milliamp, right? I think last I checked a couple years ago. So this would charge 6 phones. Parks should probably stay open, Doug. I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't see a direct impact for Orlando. Just increased winds. Emily did great, Steve. Thanks. She did awesome. I'm so proud of her. We played a really good University of Tampa team, and some of those girls have been playing softball 4 years. You know, she's a freshman. 4 year. We played a 4 years of school. She had 1 strikeout. Technically, no earned runs in three innings. They had an error. She did have 2 walks, a couple hits. But not bad, man. Pitching against some established college girls, man. School, I think, could be canceled, Silk, along the Florida West Coast if this thing's skirted close enough. Pinellas, I'd say there's a 50-50 chance. I mean, if this thing, it has to skirt close to the East Coast. If we're under tropical storm warnings, they close schools. Just because they can't have buses on the road, basically. So, no, she would love to go pro, Tony. She loves it, man. Pull you, show you her little strikeout yesterday. I happen to be filming it. I always try to get 1 strikeout. One, but hey, good girls. Now I'm sure she was nervous. All right, so hey, well, listen, we'll be live tomorrow. I don't know about tropical storm warnings yet. Any of this stuff isn't even official yet, so you got to be, really careful. I'm not, we just speculate here. Always refer to the National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service for official information. But I show you the models, what I'm thinking, what the trends are, and definitely watching close in the Keys for impacts. It's starting as early as Tuesday night. We could still see some of these feeder bands up into South Florida late Tuesday and Wednesday morning. They're going to start, and then we can have some severe weather on the Florida southeast coast as these feeder bands come around, and that water's hot, so these things could still be very potent Wednesday coming in off the Atlantic side, and then depending on how close the skirt for the peninsula. But Wednesday there's going to be rain. There's going to be feeder bands through the state of Florida. We'll see some of those. Sometimes these can produce tornadoes. We have a very high wind sheared environment to the north. We have a lot of heat. We saw that with Oklahoma last night. It's hot out there right now. Heat builds storms, so tornadoes can be a huge impact of any tropical system. We saw that with Milton. So not to say we're going to get them, but that's definitely a possibility on Wednesday into Thursday as this thing figures out what it's going to do. Now, the farther north it goes and the slower north it goes, it will likely start the weekend because of the Gulf temperatures, and we have wind shear. But it's kind of what it does up to that point, So I think the biggest effects could be middle Florida south, even without a direct hit. But the Big Bend area, obviously, with the H-Wharf coming that way, all bets are off on this thing turning into nothing the farther north it goes. So it's, that's the outlier right now. But we see the Canadian curving that way, the AI Euro curving that way. So, that north-northeast pattern is definitely one that could happen. You got the Euro AI and the H, a lot of them doing that, but then you have a lot of them kind of fizzling and disappearing too. So Yeah, makes sense. Nobody should be worried. Just aware. The only ones that I would be extra watching would be the Keys at this point. South Florida, as we have this thing just a couple days from now. Jamaica, could be dealing with a name system by tomorrow. And then the Caymans, as this thing's likely strengthening on its approach to Cuba. So, all right. Hope that made sense, except for the 5-minute and 28-second blunder looking at Helene. Hey, Doc, Wendy, check surface plot. Center relocated 1 degree east. Well, that'll mean a lot. Closer skirt obviously means a lot more impacts. National Hurricane Center just tweeted something. Let me see what they just said. Last night, let's see. National Weather Service. National Hurricane Center. So they say we might have tropical storm watches or warnings later today. That means PTC's coming today. That means we'll have a cone today. That means I'm taking the boat back to Dad's because we're not going on the water today because I have to be ready in case they do it. So we'll probably have a PTC by 5 o'clock. They're probably going to let the hurricane hunters get some data so they can put it in the computers. So, hey, David, you got the boats moved out of the Keys. I got to get down there, man. Hey, don't forget, Chris, our party, man, November 30th, okay, TBBC. The Neighbors Helping Neighbors end of season benefit. All right. We've already got Dylan Hubbard, ABC, and Furman donating big. Each bass is going to be worth around $500. $250 to $500. And hey, buddy, there's Hubbard over there now. What's up, Dylan? Dylan, you sure are looking good, man. You lost some weight. I got to get on it. Yeah, Dylan, man, that's awesome, buddy. Hey, by the way, I don't know if I can tease this or not, but we're 98%. I don't like to say anything's official, but we might have 2 amazing hosts for this event. 5 to 8, special beer, food, entertainment, music. But you know who we might have? OMG Wix. Flip phone activated. Coming to help DJ it. And our own local Beavis. Talk about a good time. 5 to 8. After party after. Hopefully, Andrew's, OMG Wicks. He's a good friend of mine, and he called me right away. And he's a Florida dude that loves to help spread the word. So, it's going to be fun. I hope, I've never done anything like this. We donated to Fran Hosh group this Friday. I do a lot of donations. I don't advertise them as enough if I should. So when they give me a hard time about selling T-shirts, that one dude, I sold 21 T-shirts off that post. So I made half of what I gave Fran Hosh on T-shirts. But, it means a lot to me. So if we could do an end of the year benefit that raises thousands of dollars, man, that'd be so awesome. So Drew and John said they'd promote the heck out of it for me too over on the Bones. So it's gonna be a good time. So watch for details on that. All right. There's my boy John there. What are you doing, John? My God. Yeah. Did that guy get mad at me for not shaking his hand? I'm having dreams about that dude, John. I thought he was talking about you guys. Hey, the after party, John. We're going to have a fire pit in the back. Let's all pass out to the end of hurricane season on November 30th. We're going to ring the bell. That's what we should do. We should have a bell like the New Year's Eve bell. And when we hit midnight and it goes to December 1st, the season's over. That's what we should do. No, if we make it to noon. I don't know if we can make it to midnight or not. Anyway. All right. Well, good day. Good chat. Thanks for coming over. Or thanks for watching. Fireworks. Hell yeah. If you're too busy to come to the benefit, you're just too busy. That's Dylan's saying, right? Oh man, Mopar fights. We could we could do some donuts. I wish I didn't have new tires on. I don't think I really want to do that, but it'll be a good time for a good cause. And I think the state of Florida is coming down too. Maybe we can get Kevin Guthrie down with this too. So do a little good and have a little fun at the same time, right? So all right, I could talk all day, but I gotta get things done. So hey, 12-foot skeleton's my job today. I got to get the 12-foot skeleton down. You know what that means. We might have that one gust of wind that we got to worry about on Wednesday. So, all right. See you tomorrow. Have a great Sunday. We got the Bucks tomorrow night. Go Bucks. See ya.